Okay, so I thought tonight I saw a news story that I thought was quite interesting, which is how social media has fueled both hate and hope for trans people. So I've not actually had a proper look at this yet, but I'm gonna go through it with you and tell you what it's all about. Anyway, so let's have a look. So let me share the screen with you here. So yeah, so this is the article that I found. Let me show you. So yeah, this is the. Let me just get rid of that screen. There you go. Yeah. So how was? I mean, what do you think? I mean, I think that social media. I mean, I agree with already with the idea. I mean, basically, it can be good and bad, can't it? Social media. This is social media where I am now. So it's a way for trans people to be visible. That's what I would say. I'd say it's a way for us to be able to, if there's trans people, like, while they're trying to stop trans education in schools, and they're trying to erase us from social life and everything, and visibility. I think social media is a good way to be visible. But if they want to really erase us, I guess the next thing could be that. And there is, maybe I won't cover it in this story, but there's another story that I want to cover where that's actually true, where they're trying to do that. So I might touch on that later on tonight. But right now I'm just going to show you this article. So, and not this one. There you go. That's better. So what's this article about anyway? So this is what it says. So the internet has become the front line of transgender debate. Okay. In what way? So, for example, X, what it does, it amplifies the TERF talking points and social solidarity campaigns like so basically it amplifies TERF talking points, but also it also has like trans rights, human rights. So you've got both sides, because it does, even though I think X is a cesspool. Politicians and journalists pull content straight into the mainstream news. So yeah, there's a lot of mainstream media now that uses X, and a lot of the talking that's going on X ends up being on the news, doesn't it? TikTok, double-edged sword, harassment and shadow bans, but also trans joy through transition videos, comedy, and community building. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about anybody out there, but you can tell me. I mean, I don't really use TikTok as much as some other people. I know I have friends that use TikTok all the time. I kind of do use it. I occasionally go in there, but for me, I prefer more long style videos. So I prefer YouTube if I had to choose between TikTok or YouTube. Definitely YouTube. So you can tell me what you think out there. But yeah, that's kind of a mixed edge, that one, isn't it? Double-edged sword, like they said. How about YouTube then? Long form space for both positive storytelling, vlogs, education, healthcare, advice, and anti-trans gender critical content. Um, it kind of blurs the lines, because the thing is with YouTube, you've kind of got two sides, haven't you? You've got like channels like mine, which, obviously my channel is very supportive. I'm a trans woman. I have a very supportive outlook on my channel, but you also have channels that are very anti-trans, very critical of trans people, and there's quite a lot of them, unfortunately. Facebook and Discord use both for TERFs organization and for multi and networking choice families and grassroots survival strategies. Yeah, well, I mean, I have a Discord as well, but Discord is a great way. Like on my Discord, I have forums. I have like private chats as well for channel members and things like that. And it's kind of a mixed thing, to be honest with you. But it can also be used for, obviously. I mean, everybody uses it, don't they? TERFs do use it as well. I mean, I think they're all good because there's a way for bringing any kind of community, good or bad, together. But I can speak mainly from YouTube. I find YouTube is, you get a lot of like negative content kind of thrown at you regardless. I find I get a lot of like negative videos, anti-trans videos, but I think it's because I've had to do some research on some of them, and then I ended up getting loads of like anti-trans videos sent to me. But anyway, let's move on. So why does this matter anyway? So for politics anyway, what have we got? The debate isn't confined to screens. Viral turf slogans and right-wing outrage quickly moves into legislation debate, school board meetings, and news cycles. Online rhetoric directly shapes real-world policies and violence. Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I mean, look at X. X is a good example. What Elon Musk is doing with X now, with all the anti-trans talking points and stuff. There's a lot of people that will read that and they just believe what they're reading there, and it does slowly, end up finding its way into mainstream politics and talking points that politicians even use. How about the economy? Outrage. Okay, the economic side of it. Yeah, outrage isn't accidental. It's a business model. Hate, conflict, and debate keep people online longer. Generate revenue. So actually, the anti-trans stuff can make a lot of money. Platforms profile that trans lives being weaponized. Yeah. So the truth is, a lot of the anti-trans channels, they get a lot of views, and the reason they get a lot of views is because people like conflict and negativity. Apparently, they like hate, and so even channels will actually promote these channels, these people, because they can make a lot of money from them. So I guess in some ways, like my platform here, where I'm, being more positive about things and just telling you what's going on in the world, this is not as profitable as if I was just negative. That's why you'll see some trans people be negative about trans people, because they can make more money from doing that. I couldn't do that because why would I be negative about myself and about the people in my life, my friends? I wouldn't do that. But they obviously do, and they make money from it. So there you go. What else? Visibility and reassurance. Okay. So despite harassment, trans creators continue to thrive. From makeup tutorials, online platforms remain vital lifelines. Proof that joy and solidarity can exist even in hostile digital environments. Yeah, that's it. I mean, like I said, I think X is like terrible, but even on X, you still have like pro-trans voices and things like that. So I would definitely say they have well, I mean, even better example is like here on YouTube. You know what I mean? I have my YouTube channel. There's people that have like anti-trans YouTube channels, and they still exist in the same space. I don't know if any of you ever do go on the anti-trans channel. Then let me know. But I mean, I don't like going on them because they're awful. But they exist in the same place, and you've got two sides that. The problem is with the anti-trans channel is the people watching that tend to not be trans. A lot of them aren't trans, but they like to thrive on the hatred. Anyway, international perspective, United States culture war policies fueled by social media confined into law, healthcare bans and bathroom bans, I would say, especially there's been one recently. Trump era rhetoric echoes, yeah, kind of what's happening now with Trump and stuff like that is echoing what's going on online. The United Kingdom, we've got the TERFs, talking points dominating parts of X and other media. Equalities Act with sex as biological sex only. Reflects how online framing influences judges and political outcomes. Yeah, policy outcomes. Europe, countries like Hungary and Poland, yeah, they weaponize gender ideology. Canada and New Zealand, they actually protect and much stronger. But social media ensures, so they still have the social media side. So even though you've got Canada and New Zealand are very supportive, they still tend to be they still have the problem with the internet, because that also can can still infect into that country and give, like, obviously this could be seen in Canada, this can be seen in New Zealand because it's online, so they can see my talking points, but they can also see anti-trans talking points. So what about the globe then? So even with local differences in laws, the internet is borderless. So outrage in one country travels instantly worldwide, but so does trans joy, so does in education. So yeah, so I mean, what I'm trying to say from this is um the internet, basically we've got countries like, for example, like Canada and New Zealand come up a lot as being more trans, accepting trans people more and getting more rights for trans people. But you still in those countries, you're still going to get videos from like America and the UK, and here in Canada, here in the UK, and obviously America, we've got a bit of a culture war going on right now, where there's a lot of anti-trans talking points, a lot of anti-trans people, and what they're doing is they're trying to make it difficult for trans people in these countries, and they're taking away, with the High Court ruling and the laws that we have, they're taking a lot away from us. And this, and when people go online and say, oh, why we let trans women use the women's toilets and things like that, these videos that they make, they go to Canada, they go to New Zealand, so people do see them. So there is people in those countries that are then infected by that hatred, unfortunately. But still, even like videos of positivity like mine, they still go as well. So it's kind of like each country has its own policies and ways of looking at it, but they also get both sides. So in one way, you get the bad side, but you also get the good side. But the thing is, I think that like countries like Canada and New Zealand and more open countries that have more trans rights probably look at the UK and America and kind of think, what's going on in those countries? It's just a mess. How they can, like, I used to think, like, how can anyone have a problem with like trans people going to the toilet? And that was what I was thinking, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, because I think I started seeing it in America first, and then now I'm seeing it in England. It's actually started to come to England, so it did spread in the end. It did spread to England, but I think it's just because our politicians are going more right wing, and that's what's happening. So, but it is true. I remember thinking back a few years ago, thinking to myself, "Oh, we'd never have that in the UK. Why would we? Why would even? That just sounds crazy. Trans women have been using women's facilities for decades. Why would it be an issue?" And then all of a sudden, now we've got this talking point in the UK, where it's people going, "Oh, if I see a trans woman go into the women's toilets, I'm going to follow them in." I saw a guy on the internet. I think it was a video I watched on the internet few weeks back, and he said he was being interviewed by this guy, and he said, if my daughter goes into the women's toilets and I see a trans woman going after her, I'll go in there and I'll grab that trans woman and I'll pull her out. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, you would be violent towards that trans person. You pull them out, like you said. So basically, manhandle them, which is illegal, and you think that's fine? And it's like, this is crazy. So they're just going to the toilet. Why are you so bothered? Anyway, so, but that's the kind of world we're living in right now. There's people out there who generally think that this is some issue, when really that trans person is just going to the toilet. That trans person doesn't care about your daughter, not interested in your daughter. She's just going to the toilet. Can you leave them alone? And anyway, and what would happen after that is, after you've manhandled the trans woman, you're the one that's going to get in trouble for that. So why would you do that? So you now your daughter's like, well, okay, my father's just gone to jail for grabbing hold of someone, and pulling him out of a toilet, because what the hell. But anyway, I just think it's crazy.